All right. Okay. I think we're back, fam. What a night. All right. We just got to get everybody back here and whatnot. We will see. Hopefully everything is working. I am going to check. All right. Yes. So we are back. We're live on freaking. We're good on what do you call it? On YouTube. YouTube's good. We're up and running on YouTube. Now we got to check. Now we got to check. What do you call it? Rumble. We are good on Rumble. We're good on both, fam. All right, we are back, rolling. Sorry again, Rumble, and I don't know. We just got kicked out of both places for whatever reason, and well, tonight will be a little bit of a shorter show. So again, I apologize to everybody, but technical difficulties tonight was absolutely ridiculous. So again, I apologize for everybody. Hope you all freaking can see it. So let me get a thumbs up in the chat, fam. Let me know if we're good to go here. All right, see people in the chat. All right. Let me let Scott know that we're good so he can come back. Let me let Scott know. Because he probably went away. Yeah, he silenced his stuff. All right, we're good to go. All right, go ahead, man. So Oscar, once again, I apologize. Go ahead and roll, man, and let me know. Let us know, man.
Where do I start at, bro? Do we start from the beginning, or do we kind of go?
Yeah, just just give us a quick synopsis.
Okay, so you mentioned about the vigil yesterday for Charlie Kirk in Arizona. Yeah, we were there. Some of the team was there. We had a great time. We arrived Saturday. We were online. I think like at 4 in the morning. Others got there before, so we would have been like maybe the first. I would say I think I told we would have been maybe the first maybe 300 probably to get in 400, but there was a break in the line and we ended up being like the last to get in. We barely made it. We had like standing room only, so it was just that the whole stadium staff messed everything up. So I almost came home. I was upset because we had a good seats already picked out, and because we would have been first, and we didn't get them. So but thank the Lord we kind of stuck it out. Okay, we kind of pulled through. We got there, and it was a great evening. I mean, it was a great event. I mean, it was a great memorial, great tribute. They had a lot of worship. The name of the Lord was proclaimed. Like I said, I've never been in a political, because it wasn't a political rally, but it was politics in there. Because Charlie Kirk did both. He was a man of God, but he took care of civics too. So I've never been in a political rally where they had like worship. I mean, it was an intense worship. I mean, people were loving the Lord, and then just see people that run our country, people in government, vice president, secretary of state. I mean, people, even Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, these people are preaching gospel, and like I mentioned before. I mean, there's always a flow when you're a preacher. There's a certain flow that you kind of recognize. I've been in church 25 years already, so I know the way seasoned preachers flow. And they had a flow, but it was more like because they're politics, so they could flow, right. So they were doing a political flow, and they would quote scriptures, and it was right on the money, but it wasn't, it didn't have that connection, so I knew what they were doing, but it was right on the money, man. They
Right.
preached, and everything they said was true. The word of God was not twisted. It was accurate. So I was impressed. The people in government actually they read their Bible. At least they read it for this time. They read their Bible, and they recognize truth. So I think there's hope for America. When you get people in leadership that know the Word of God, and they've read it. The Bible says that because now you're accountable. Because they know the Word of God. I really feel excited for the coming years. Because Trump's got a good cabinet. And these people, they know Jesus, man. They know the truth. And they know that Charlie, died because of that. Because he exposed wickedness, he exposed darkness. He didn't die because of some, LGBTQ thing. He died because he was proclaiming truth. And the devil doesn't like that. You could be talking about anything in history, right? But if you're preaching truth, they will come after you. So he got, he became a martyr, a Christian martyr, because he spoke truth. And at the same time, he helped a generation of young men find purpose, and find meaning, and I'm so excited, man, for turning points and for the years to come. I mean, they're gonna, they will expand like never before, So Charlie's memory, will be even greater. The latter part of this story is going to be even greater than the beginning. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and of course, Erica, she closed it off. Good 30-minute sermon. At the end, she
Right.
she talked about forgiving the assassin, and that was pretty heart wrenching. Everybody in there was crying and stuff, And I've heard people forgive, their enemies, or forgive people that hurt them in church, But I
Right.
don't think people in there were waiting. I don't think people in there expected her to do that, because I think caught everybody off guard. So when she did it, everybody was crying, So it was, kudos to her. It takes a lot of faith, a lot of strength to do that, So I really believe she meant it, She meant it, So I'm excited, for on the way home, you know, um, on the way home, I was thinking about, when JFK got assassinated and stuff. I was thinking about when he died and stuff, and and then years later, his son JFK Jr. He died in that plane accident, right? And he was about 2 years old. He was the same age as Charlie Kirk's kid, 2 years old. And I'm thinking, man, I already see, bro. I already see in the spirit the Charlie Kirk's lineage, his son and his daughter going into high levels of the country, high levels of politics. So I know this is the beginning for the future of those two kids, bro. You know what I mean? Just the same way that JFK got assassinated and his son was rising, in popularity and the government. I think we're gonna see that, but even greater with Charlie Kirk's kids. So I'm excited for that, bro. I'm excited for.
Now, there's a question. Usually we'd be able to see it, but because all the issues, the chat isn't moving because um so I'm looking at the Rumble chat, and there was a question um by Conserve Reality. He says, Lucky Vato, I have a curious question. If you can see it, there was rumor going around that people had to pay for tickets to the event. Is that true? Is there paid seats for VIP and executive?
Not that I know of. They were all free, but if you're VIP, and I've been to VIP events for Trump before, and you get in like right away. There's no fee for that, but you have to know somebody. You got to know somebody in government. You got to be part of a campaign or something, So not that I know. I don't know that I know of. I mean, there was nobody scalping tickets. There was nobody walking around
Right.
selling tickets. So I mean, if there was, I would have seen it, Because trust me, we
Yeah.
wanted to get in. We should have been the first to get in, and we were the last because somebody cut the line from the
Right.
back somehow.
Because of
They
how they had you guys. You had mentioned that how they had you guys set up. They had the front and the back, and the back, like,
yeah, in the
they
front,
should
yeah,
have just been, they should have just did the grade school thing and
yeah, yeah,
had people
yeah,
in the front, people in the back. It's
yeah.
it's
So
it's insane. Now you mentioned something about did you say your little girl is involved with TP USA?
yeah. It's, a few years ago when Charlie Kirk came to Chino, up from Chino Hills, she came to he came to Jack Hibbs. Jack Hibbs and him were good friends, So whenever he comes, he always has the Turning Points local chapters. Wherever he goes, he has Turning Point local chapters like usher or like take care of the tables, right? So my daughter was part of that little group, So I think she was like 12 or 13, bro. So when he came
Mhm.
down, she was part of his table. They passed out information, TPUSA, how to join the chapter. And then the one thing about Charlie, he loved kids, man. It wasn't just he didn't just go to college. He loved even minors. He loved like the youth. And he was really drawn to them. And he would go in there and talk to them. And he would they would always have like snacks in the back for Charlie. So he would go back there and cut it up with the kids and stuff, and take pictures, So my daughter was pretty devastated when he passed away, when he got assassinated. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go, because I know she knew him, working with
Right.
them, and now that she's a little older, she's almost 18 now, now that she's older, I wanted her to kind of like have that closure, okay, we're saying goodbye to Charlie now, and this will be with her forever, So I'm really grateful that he spent time with the kids, because I know all these kids that were touched by him in some way, they're gonna continue, bro. They're not gonna give up. They're not gonna give up. You'll never tell these kids that they can't be conservative. Never, man.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, he definitely. I mean, I know after his passing, his followers went through the roof. Like, if they thought they were going to silence his voice permanently, that didn't happen, because people are watching his videos now. Younger
Yeah.
kids are watching his video, and there's definitely a revival of Christianity going on in this country, not just the country, around the world.
Oh
Okay, I
yeah.
mean, they were having vigils in Japan, which is not a Christian country by any measure.
Right. Right.
There's a Christian element there that's actually growing in Japan, but it's still very, very small. They're a real serious minority as far as
Yeah.
Christianity
Yeah.
in Japan. And even then, even there, people who weren't Christians in Japan were getting in on the vigil because they understood the significance of the loss, especially on our movement. What's up, Red Day Scott? You got anything, brother? After the mess that fucking
No,
we
I'm
started with?
still. I'm just. Yeah, I'm just out of it at this point. I'm just so pissed off at Rumble or whoever's responsible. Evie Mux, Rumble.
Yeah,
They screwed it tonight for us. I'm pissed off.
yeah,
Like I was trying to keep up. That's why I was so late. I was trying to keep up with people messaging me about, hey, the link's not working. I'm just like, I don't have a link to send you.
yeah,
It's like we're trying. It was just getting
yeah.
really frustrating.
Yeah, it's just it was frustrating. It definitely freaking pissed me off tonight. I'm gonna be upset going to when I go to bed tonight. It's gonna take me some time to go to sleep. I'm gonna have to cool down a little bit. I might have some cookies.
Yeah,
That might help.
you might need to. Might need.
Stuff my face with some
It's not.
cookies.
It's not too late to get a drink.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I'm fucking thinking about it. Uh, so California, man. You had mentioned on Instagram that there's a whole bunch of shit going on in Cali. What are some of the things that it just seems like listen, we've been bringing people from California on repetitively because there is a fight going on there, and there are patriots that are sticking it out, okay, and busting their ass on a daily basis to try to get the word out for all the crazy things. So what are some of the fights that are going on right now?
Man, well, the thing is, in California, if you're conservative, you're a minority. I think the number, I think, is like
Yeah.
2 to 1 or 3 to 1. As far as like registered conservatives or Democrats, liberals. But I mean, California has a 2/3 majority in the House, Senate, and Assembly. So whatever bills any conservative brings that's of meaning, they shoot him down. I mean, if you bring a bill to like to remove bad air or save the whales or whatever, they'll pass all that. You could regard that kind of bill, but any kind of bill that protects children, secures, the border, public safety, then I mean, so, release more water for fires and all that. All that gets shut down, because so
Nope.
we have no power.
Yeah, they
So,
don't care.
they don't care. So in the last cycle, we got some conservative seats, a little bit and stuff. This is why right now they have what they call Prop 50, the
Hmm.
Assembly and the Senate, they passed this bill, and then Newsom signed it. So we're voting on it, I think, in November something. So this bill would redistrict the maps, the
Right.
voting maps, and we had that all done during the census, and it was done by by an independent committee that they had voted on, and that's the way California had it in their bylaws and stuff, to have it independent. But Newsom, using the excuse of Texas is taking more sheep. Of course, they don't have those laws that we have here. Texas would do whatever they want. We're in California, so he's breaking California law by making this temporary law to remap everything. And what he's doing, he's remapping everything based on voting history. So if you have a red area that's kind of red on one corner and a little bit of blue, they're literally mixing all the blue areas, covering all the red areas to remove or wash away all the red votes, and then overtaking them with blue votes. So it's straight election interference, straight cheating, bro. They call it gerrymandering. I call it straight cheating, man. This is like, literally you're gonna map the new voting, and they're saying it's only for 2 years, right? And we know that if the law passes and voters approve this
Yeah,
Prop
it's
50,
permanent.
it's permanent. Not going to change.
Yeah,
You never. People that love power, like like Marxists, right? They never give you back the power, So we know that
Absolutely
we gotta
not.
stop it, So we're gonna be pushing
Well,
that information, And a lot of Democrats don't want it, but still, you got Newsom up there making videos every day about how bad Trump is and all this and that, And it's just, of course, he wants to be president, so and he's doing things kind of, to kind of play both sides, But really, in reality, we're in a fight for life. Because in reality, they realize that California went the most red ever. I mean, I
Yep.
think 60% of
We
Latino
covered that.
voted.
We actually
Voted
covered that.
for Newsom.
We covered that after the election.
Yeah.
How much redder
It was a
California
big
got.
shift, and a lot of Latinos by nature, we're not really, we have conservative values. We believe in faith, God, freedom, and all that, hard work and all that. So all these things were kind of to the benefit of Trump, But I think they know that, so now they want to, instead of like fixing what's wrong, instead of like not pandering, but just taking care of your constituents, they're going to cheat. You know what I mean? So of course our job is to remind everybody why they voted for Trump, and why it's working, why gas is cheaper now. It's still like $4, but it's cheaper than it was. It's not $10 anymore. So but and then another law coming. I think in a few months where it'll jack up the price of gas. I think like $2 or $3 more bucks. So we're just going downhill in a slippery slope, bro. And when you ask what's happening in California, well, every day is something new, bro. So for me, like I'm not no expert on anything.
yeah.
I just know that we have to push back. And for me, like it's so bad right now. If you're a Democrat, no, I don't care. I don't care if you're a pro-gun, pro-life Democrat. No, I mean that party is so bad. It's done.
Yeah.
It's not even worth saving, bro. That's how bad it is. I mean, everybody in Sacramento, the Democrats are either LGBTQ, they're either trans, they want to transfer your kids, I mean, the laws are just corrupt. I mean, so nah, let's start over. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
California definitely needs a reset, like
yeah.
badly. It's crazy stuff, man. California, it's a shame because like California is a very beautiful state. I've been going back and forth to California. I mean, I haven't been to California since 2018, but uh, I was stationed out there. I have family out there, so I used to go back and forth all the time. So like I partied in the 1990s in California and in LA and whatnot. So uh, I remember how much fun I had, and it's a nightmare now. Uh, can't do anything in California without like some political effect going on, and it doesn't help. You have guys like what's his name, Scott Weiner, whatever
Oh
the
yeah.
fuck, however the
Wiener,
fuck you pronounce his name,
yeah.
up there. He's the one who's pushing. He's the one who. I mean, he has so much power. He pushes all of this transformer shit
Yeah.
and everything to anything to hurt kids in any form of fashion. He's on board with that. That what I forgot what bill that was that I think he signed it. I called it the human trafficking bill,
Yeah.
where a fucking stranger could just say,
Yeah.
your
AB
kid's in
495.
danger and get your kid
Yeah.
taken from you
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's amazing to see. And I don't know what Newsom thinks he's gonna be. He's not gonna be the president. It's just not
Oh
gonna happen.
no.
He's hated all over the fucking country.
Yeah, I hope
Everybody
so.
hates him.
Well, and California, they love him still. They still think he's, of course they're liberals, and they just, somehow it's
They don't love him. They don't love him. They're just told that, like, yeah, he's the best option. That's all they're told.
yes, yeah. It's just, but,
That's all they
but
believe, and then they sit there and believe it.
yeah, it's just that it's just some what do they call some mind rot, some mind virus. They're just all zombies. They'll vote for
They are.
Newsom. Like I said, Trump could solve, could bring world peace. Trump could solve world hunger and cure cancer. They'll still vote for Newsom. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense.
he could tell if he can say, air is good for you, and they'll hold their breath until they die
Yeah.
just because they don't want to suck in the air. That's just how it is, unfortunately. You're right about that. They're sheep. It is a mind virus. It's a hive mind mentality that they have on the left, trying to freaking. Man, I'm so upset that the chat isn't working. I'm just so upset. Fucking that should work because
What do you mean it's not working?
it's like we have to look at Rumble. Everything is just not. We're live. Everything's going fine,
Oh,
but the
that's all
chat
I
is
look
not
at is on
connected.
there.
Yeah.
I got
Huh?
you.
Yeah.
I
But
said I only
but
look
the
at
chat.
Rumble usually, so.
Yeah, but the chat should be rolling up here, and it's just not. And I put in the right HTML and everything like that because after I recreated everything. I had to put in all the information. So this just sucks. Just freaking absolute donkey dick what happened to us tonight. So any new laws other than the shit that we just talked about that are in the works going on in California right now?
What uh, what those are they have another they had another one where they had another bill. I forgot the number, but it was like they wanted to get rid of homeschooling, so they were able to push back and kind of stop that one and stuff. So we were able to get Democrats. Because you got to literally get Democrats to vote on your side for anything. So if you want
Right.
to stop any kind of bill or maybe like put it away or modify it or whatever, you got to have Democrats help you. Because like I say, we're a minority and there's no way that we're going to get anything done. So I think some people in Sacramento, they were able to get some Democrats. So I think they stopped that.
The corruption is like real, right? Because when I just saw a recent number, okay, believe it or not, Republicans are like 40-something% of the population. So there's no representation for Republicans by the way
No,
they've done things in California. It's a big number of Republicans. California is a big state. Obviously, it's not half or anything like that, but it's pretty in the 40s is a big number, but there is no like real representation of Republicans in the state of California. It's crazy.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's nothing. I think maybe since maybe Reagan, I think is when we left, we had some kind of say so as far as conservative.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's been already what
Hmm.
30, 40 years. So I mean, of course we had Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was just a Hollywood liberal. He didn't do anything. I mean, I can't recall one thing that he did that. Well, he won, I think, because of the recall. I think, but I don't think I don't think it's one thing that he did that I was happy with and stuff. So of course now we have a few people that are running for governor. Some good ones too. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get. We kind of like Chad Bianco, Sheriff
Yeah.
Chad Bianco Riverside.
He's a
we kind of
sheriff from Riverside County, right?
and I know him. I know him personally. And I've been watching him since before the lockdown and stuff. And he was very, very active in city council. He was very active, saying, "I'm not going to arrest anybody for having church. I'm not going to arrest anybody for having a store." So he kind of pushed back in the city. The city of Riverside is really liberal, but he's a conservative sheriff.
Right.
So I remember watching clips of him fighting against the city council. So I know he's a true conservative. He's not like I know we got Hilton. Hilton's another one that kind of came out of nowhere. He's more of a Hollywood conservative, but he's not one of he's a real hardcore conservative, So I really trust Bianco, and we're hopefully that maybe he'll get the nod and he'll be able to get to the primaries and stuff, So we're happy, man. We're excited, So I mean, and then we have somebody also running for kind of superintendent of education with Sonia Shaw, So she was the mama bear at the forefront of parental rights. She was the one that brought forward policy in Chino Valley Unified, to protect kids and stuff. I remember, years ago, we was met 5.5 years ago. We were like talking about getting smut books, getting porn out of schools, and who would have thought that we had that, but we do. These are books that are written by the Rainbow Mafia. They're supposed to be like educational books, and they write these books, and they have
porn. It's porn, is what it is. There's
porn,
no other way around it.
The porn, right? But they write them as a way to like bring culture, right? But you're bringing pornography to kids, right? So we had no idea that these policies were passed through the Department of Ed, through California, and for years they had them in there, and we had no idea because we were there, of course, until the lockdowns, we were able to see stuff going on and we were able to discover stuff. And then we started advocating against it, we were able to remove that. So we passed, they call it book banning, but it's not book banning. It's just removing smut. We got rid of that, and then we passed
bullshit.
rights. The left uses words to kind of scare you, but it's not. I mean, it's book. You could get that book online. It's not book banning, right? We just don't want it in public schools, And what it is you have the unions that are all super. The union, the California Union of Education for Democrats. That's the biggest funders, the biggest campaign contributor to Democrats. So the unions are the ones that control Sacramento. So
the teachers union across the country, okay,
across the country,
they're all bad.
They're all bad. And in California, they have all the power and stuff, But Sonia Shaw was able to win the school board against a massive number of money. We're able to, grassroots and get on the ground. So she was able to win pretty good, and then we're able to get two more candidates. So right now we got a 5-0 majority school board, probably one of the few in the nation. So they ain't getting nothing passed. That's not conservative. That's not family minded. So now the next step is to get Sonia elected to be a superintendent of education in Sacramento. You know, so if we get her in Sacramento, we'll be able to get rid of all those policies that are being pushed from the top down to every district. You know. So California's it's on the move, bro. It's on the move. You know, we're moving forward. You know, we're exposing evil. You know, I mean, calling them out. You know, and they don't like it. They don't like it at all. They're mad. So pray for us, man.
We do. We really do.
Upset, brother. I've been attacked. I've been, So I was talking to somebody today. I'm gonna start carrying the camera everywhere I go, like the little cop cameras they have in their chest. I gotta carry that
body cam.
Yeah, body cam. I gotta carry that all the time, bro. I'm serious, bro. Because literally, something came up recently, right, in our school board, and I kind of got a little assaulted, right. But I had my phone on, but the idiot pushed on me when my phone was on, so I was able to catch it on tape. Right? I don't know who this guy was. I had no idea who it was, right? It turned out, bro, he was the next principal of our district. He had retired, bro. So you got an ex-principal attacking a community member. I had no idea who he was until after I showed the video. That's a principal, and then I spoke about it at the board meeting, and then he's all upset now because he said that I'm tainting his name. I said, "Well, idiot, I got you on tape pushing me, you know what I mean?" So this is where we're at. We literally gotta be careful now, because these people are crazy, man. They're nuts.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, Scott, you got anything, brother?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Now, what's any new information coming out of what is that, like Jurupa? I think it is.
Oh yeah. Jurupa Valley. It's a little community. It's a little horse community east of where I live in Chino. So it's a little community. It's a kind of a little cowboy town. So Jurupa became national news, bro, because they have that boy Abe Hernandez that was transgender, and he was playing against the girls, and Abe Hernandez was able to win CIF titles in California for I think long jump and I think track and field and stuff. You know what I mean?
Track and field, yeah.
Track and field, yeah. So he got I think like.
Oh, now he's playing volleyball.
Playing volleyball now, yeah. I mean, this guy's a well-rounded athlete, I guess, but he's playing against girls, and so that being national. I think even the president talked about it. So that's what Jurupa is known for. They have it's a beautiful little part of town. They got horses there, but they're known for the trans kid that went national and stole trophies and medals from girls. Crazy, yeah.
Well,
yeah. And it's legal. It's legal. You can't if you stop it, you get in trouble. You can't stop it. You can call that out, but you can't interfere because California made it legal.
Correct. I mean, again, it's taking safe spaces away from little girls. It is just we saw on the national level with colleges what Riley Gaines went through with Peter Thomas, aka Leah Thomas, or Leah, whatever the hell he went with. So it really comes down to these guys, these men and boys. Okay, they can't compete against other men and boys. They're like 1,000th in whatever event that they do. Right, they're worse than they're like the worst in either the country or the state against other boys. Right, so they put on a fucking wig and don some makeup on and everything like that, and let me go. Hey, it's California. I can go and just beat up on girls in a sport and stuff like that because, well, I can't compete against other boys, right? It's a sickness, man, and it's just manipulative to take advantage of the situation and get accolades. And the parents that go along with this shit, okay, they want to live Insta famous and TikTok famous through their kids, all right? So they film everything and you look at me, I'm the cool mom, or there's not really any dads. In most of these cases, it's moms pushing this shit. Okay. And any dads that go along with it's because they're cuckolded by the women that are pushing it, that they're married to, and stuff. So it's something that needs to get corrected like soon. I think most people are tired of this shit and do not want to see it anymore. I mean, across the nation, it is a common thing. Nobody wants to see it. That is just an alphabet mob thing in places like California and in the Northeast and whatnot, where places like Connecticut where you can get away with it too.
Right, yeah. So we did hear a few weeks ago. I guess the Supreme Court rewrote or brought back Title IX, which protects women's sports, right? When it's basically they brought them back to the original language, which is defined by sex, gender. So we know that was a big victory. So we know that we have federal standing to protect girls' sports, protect women's spaces and all that. Because there's so much money that's given for sports, whether it's boys or for girls. So when you have a boy, there's grants and all that, tuition and all that, college grants. So we have boys that are playing in girls sports. They're robbing from
Yeah,
the pot
absolutely.
down to the girls. So we know that got taken back to the original language, which is sex. So that's a victory. But of course, California is fighting right now. I think there's a lawsuit right now going on with that. So hopefully that'll be settled pretty quick. And then Trump's talking about defunding CIF and all that. And I think CIF been doing it. I had no idea they've been doing it for like I think 20 or 30 years, bro. That they allowed I think men in girls sports, but it was never an issue. I think maybe like one or two, but it was never made media. It was never made known to anybody. So now that we know about it, of course, now there's a lot more kids. Like almost every district has one or two. So there's a lot more now. And I'm sure with TikTok and social media, you can have more kids come out and start experimenting and say, I'll try that, and all that, so it's crazy, man. But when I was a kid, you experimented, with certain hobbies or sports. You wanted to be a wrestler, where you got win and then you got smashed, and you're not a wrestler, So we would always try that, but now they're experimenting with like gender stuff, which is ridiculous, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what is going on? I have to look at. Unfortunately, that we usually can see the chats on the screen, and we don't have to worry about it. But I have to go back and forth uh, between Rumble and YouTube to see it. What's going on, Scoob? I know you're out there, brother. I saw you. I apologize. Right now, we can't see anybody's chat because we just had all kinds of technical difficulties from the jump. I see Chelsea in the chat on YouTube. It's good to see you, honey. So. That's the reason why if you guys are asking questions, I keep trying to go back to find them because it's just a pain in the ass right now. Absolutely sucks. Anyway. All right, so we had Drupa Valley. You guys got any new information on Etowanda?
Etowanda? It's in Etowanda. Etowanda, no, nothing lately. No, Etowanda like right next door. To Aruba, yeah. Nothing yet. Yeah. I'm live, man. Yeah.
Scott, you got anything, brother?
See,
I'm just, you know what? I mean, is who do you think is going to be the next governor of California? I mean, you think Bianco has a legit shot?
I was just with them. They had the GOP convention. I think it was the summer one or maybe the fall, just a few weeks ago in Anaheim. And I was talking to him, and he's saying that he's out fundraising all his opponents. So he is fundraising pretty good. They say they make about like over 50 G's a week just on gear, just gear alone, and he's got some great merch, man. He's got some great merch, beautiful gear, cowboy stuff, just epic stuff, you know what I mean? So he's doing good in that way, and then he's working super hard. He's all over the state right now. He's always on the road.
I'm just, I mean, I just get so, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say black pill, but I just like a state like California or even like New York. I just think like, we're gonna come down to the election day, and it's gonna be one of those situations. It's gonna take them like 4 weeks to count the votes all of a sudden,
Yeah.
And like, oh, we're
Especially if
still
it's
not
close.
done. Yeah,
Especially if it's close.
No matter what, I think he could win, but either way, it's gonna be close. I don't think I don't think there's a chance he's gonna blow out the Democrat candidate.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that much of. I mean,
they won't
unless something really happens, because he's running against Newsom, right? Or no?
No. He's already termed out. So they have a couple other Democrats. Some pretty big names.
Some chick.
Yeah.
There's some chick that's leading the Democrats. What's her name?
It's not going to be Kamala.
No. I think she wanted to tell her no. I think Kamala has her eyes on probably the White House again, so she can't throw her hat in there.
Oh my God! I hope she runs again. If that's
please do.
Please do. Run.
Yeah,
her and AOC.
Imagine her and AOC.
Combined ticket. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be great. Two pendejas trying just when they open their mouth, it's gonna be fucking insane.
A
dead cockroach. The combined IQ of a dead cockroach. Both of those
cockroach on his back after you spray it like this. That's
yeah. It's just
But
I,
it'll be a
I,
fight though. I'm excited for California. I know that we'll have a shot, and hopefully, with these ice raids happening, and all these people, getting deported, all these, and also maybe getting rid of mail-in ballots. You know what I mean? I know a lot of legal stuff going on with that. If we're able to like do like same day voting, like with ID, I think we win, bro. I think we win. I think the only win because they cheat, and in California, whenever you vote, even like me, whenever you're gonna vote, you always get a mail-in ballot. You get like 2 or 3 for one house. So if you used to live in one
Oh yeah.
house years ago, yours will go there, and then you get one over here. You'll get your grandma's, your auntie, your great grandma's. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you could be in prison and get one. They don't check anything, man. They don't check anything. And then when you go vote, there's no ID required. It's so bad that you can't even ask for an ID. I remember one time I sent you one my ID. She, oh no, we don't ask for it. She got all scared. I thought I was asking her if you're gonna check me. Go, no. I said, no, I'm asking. You probably should. Go, no. We don't ask for IDs. So they're even like prohibited from even like hinting about an ID. That's how bad it
right.
is. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if we're able to fix something between now and next year, I think we have a shot, bro. I think we have a shot. And if we get Bianco Sacramento as a governor, and then Sonia Shaw, Sonia Education, I think there's about 6 or 7 executive seats in California. We would get some executive seats in California. Because we haven't had an executive seat in California, I think, for 20 years or something. It's been a long time. So we're able to get a seat in California that's like that. We'll make a change, bro. We'll make a change. But I know,
I
thinking
hope
about it in
so.
the numbers, I know that they're not gonna want to get rid of California, because if they lose California, they lose it, they'll never win again, bro. It's over for them. You know what I mean? Because of
Oh yeah.
all the numbers they carry, right? So I know they're gonna fight tooth and nail, bro, for California. So it's gonna be a battle,
No,
bro.
they're gonna cheat tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
not a
too.
fight. It's a
Yeah,
cheat. They're gonna
It's
they're
not a
gonna
fight.
come up with new
Cheat.
ways to cheat, right? If the
They're gonna
old
be like,
ways aren't working, they'll
oh,
find a new way to do it.
yeah,
we just found out Chad Bianco's not tall enough or something like that. And, oh, well,
yeah.
He didn't
they
meet
passed a
he didn't
law
meet
that
the
says you got
height
to be five
standard or
nine
some
and a.
shit.
I don't know how tall he is. I'm just gonna say, oh, he's got to be 5'11"
Yeah.
or
Everybody,
something
but he's
stupid.
a man though. He's got experience. You know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. He's not media trained. He's been just doing it for a long time. He's got a day job that does this for a living. So I think he's our guy, man. He's our guy. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for California to be able to finally have a good candidate that's got experience, bro. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, we keep bringing keep bringing all you patriots from California on the show because there's some important things going on in this November. Not just next year, and then we've been bringing our peeps from New York City on the show too because there's important shit going on this year there too. There's really important shit going on every year. It's really up to us as a citizenry to pay the fuck attention to what's going on, especially locally. That's really where it counts. I mean, you want to make changes, it's got to be done locally. You can't, and not that the national isn't important, but it's so much more important, to take care of your counties and your towns and your villages and your little cities and stuff like that. Because especially with like law, right? For instance, sheriffs are what do you call it? Sheriffs are voted in, so you got to make
Yeah.
sure you put the right
Yeah.
sheriff in, right? A lot of judges on the local level are voted in, right? They're elected, not
Yeah.
not appointed. You got to put in the right judges. The DAs are all elected. You got
Yeah.
to put in the
Oh,
right people.
yeah.
It's just very important to do these things if you want to get the law enforced the correct way and according to the Constitution and whatnot. Um, yeah, the chat is saying, and again, I have to look at on Rumble because it's not coming up on our screen. It's so fucking annoying that I can't see what the chat is saying. I'm used to seeing that. I can just look at it, and it sucks because my mod too. Like if I have a question from my mod to put something up, I have to go freaking look for it. Um, yeah, they're gonna continue to cheat, man. And again, they're gonna continue to find new ways to cheat if the old ways aren't working. And it just sucks, man. Because like I said, it's like I thought I saw the number was anywhere between 45 and 48%. Oh no, anywhere between 40 and 45% was Republicans in the state of California.
Yeah.
And there's like no representation whatsoever because of all the gerrymandering that has gone on over the years, right? And they've been doing it everywhere forever for a long time. And they get all pissed off because Texas did it. We're only doing what they do, okay? And you know, Newscomb comes out, talks about we're going to do this and we're going to freaking go ahead and pass this law so that we can just solidify the Marxist freaking power here in the state of California. And then a whole bunch of red states countered that. He was like, we're going to wipe away Texas's new 5 seats. Well, guess what? Florida is thinking about doing shit. Missouri is
Mm,
thinking about doing shit. There's all these other red states that are going, oh, really? You want to fuck around with us, California? Watch. Okay, and they're doing the
wow.
same shit. So it's not having the effect he thought it was gonna have.
Yeah. Good.
Um, I just
Good.
I just hope that it gets absolutely tossed by the
Yeah.
people when you guys vote on it come
Yeah.
this November, right?
Yeah. No, so I have seen the GOP. The GOP in California, they're also trash, bro. I mean, we really get no help. You really gotta, I mean, you really get no help. So I'm seeing that's kind of the main goal. I went to a GOP meeting. I'm not part of the GOP, but I kind of just go in there and I hear them talk. They have their little meetings. So I have noticed that they're making an issue. They're making an issue to like make sure that they push back against this because they know that of course they're going to lose their job. So they know that they want to keep their seats and stuff. So they're really going to start putting a lot of commercials. I'm already seeing them now in the air. So you'll see one Democrat say yes, and then you see a conservative say no. So
Right.
they're putting money into it. Finally, they're finally like waking up because literally, and what happened is for years and years, the GOP was just asleep, bro. They were asleep. It was just a bunch of old white guys. I mean, we'll always be in power. They're getting older. But luckily, there's a new wave of like young conservatives, and Latinos, and even some blacks coming up and Asian and stuff. So they're kind of getting helped out because they were really just dying out, bro. They never went out and recruited. They didn't. Like what Charlie was doing, going to colleges. They would never do that, bro. Because they're just a bunch of
Right.
old guys. But I'm seeing that now they're starting to panic, and now they want help. Now they're doing stuff. So I could see them being a little more pliable. A little more workable now. You can
Right.
talk to them and get them help and stuff. But yeah, they better fight because it takes money, man. It takes money to fight back against these bills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Truthful Reese, you're absolutely correct. He definitely opened up a can of worms with that shit.
Mm.
Truthful Reese is actually going to be on the show with us this Friday coming up. Um, that should be a good show. Uh, Unfortunately, this turned out to be a pretty good show, but we had some major technical difficulties in the beginning. It set us back about 45 minutes. So I apologize to all of you that were waiting patiently. Appreciate you guys. I do see that you guys are in the chat and whatnot. I can't see the chat on the screen because of the technical issues, unfortunately. So I have to go back and forth between Rumble and YouTube to see what people are saying. But I do see you guys, and again, I just apologize. I apologize, and I appreciate you all for hanging with us and whatnot. That's what's important is that we got together again, and we kept the show going, one form of fashion. We made it work. And we'll make it up to you, Oscar. I will absolutely bring you back, man. I
Don't
promise.
worry
Just
about it.
to make up that time, brother. Uh, I appreciate your patience tonight, stuff like that. You could have easily been like, "Yeah, I'm done." You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't have blamed you if you did, because I don't know what the hell was going on tonight with both Rumble and YouTube. It's got knocked off of YouTube as well. It's usually like if we have issues, it's Rumble, and we don't really have that many issues. But it's usually with Rumble, never with YouTube. And we got kicked off of there too. It's probably
Mm.
the software tonight. Um, so once again, fam, appreciate you all coming to hang with us and actually chilling with us tonight. Yeah, trying to see if there's any questions for you in the chat. I have to go back and forth. Pain in the ass. It's pain in the ass. Like I said, you can usually see the chat on the screen as it's going up, and then we can see it in the studio too. And as it's moving, we can pay attention to what people are saying and whatnot or asking.
Or if you
One of my
want, wait,
guests.
I'll show you a pretty cool like souvenir. So everybody at the
Oh, that's neat.
memorial got a little Charlie Kirk little souvenir. It was kind of cool. They also give you a little pin,
Right.
But we all got that.
That's pretty dope, man.
Cool, yeah.
It's a nice one, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough loss, man. It affected a lot of people across the world, right?
Oh
Because,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, when I said earlier, which most of you guys probably missed it because we got knocked off, was that there were vigils all across the world for Charlie Kirk. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So on that note, so yesterday when we were in line, like 4:30 in the morning. There was this kind of this white kid, he had a sign on and it said, "My girlfriend is from Australia and they're celebrating Charlie Kirk today." So he's got a girlfriend
Yeah.
in Australia, but the kid is from Canada. So the kid flew in 2 days before that, and he was there all night. He said, "I flew from Canada. I wanted to be here. I was here all night because I don't want to miss it." So he came from Canada. I think from I forgot what province of Canada. It's like a little province, but he came from Canada to honor Charlie Kirk, and then he brought the sign for his girlfriend because she's from Australia. He brought the sign saying "My girlfriend in Australia." So they have a distance, I guess, romance going on. But they were having a vigil in Australia, and he was honoring Charlie in Arizona. That's kind of cool that he was worldwide. You know what I mean? So his Charlie's ministry or Charlie's like work was so like common sense, so like normal that anybody could adopt it.
It
Just
was
be a
very
man,
simple.
be
It was actually
responsible.
very simple.
Yeah,
It was very simple.
so
There was no confusion behind his word, right? He lived his life through scripture, and everything that he did was through scripture, right? And even when he was talking, no matter what he was talking about, like I said, it was through scripture and obviously his knowledge of history. He was a very, very
oh
sharp
yeah,
man.
oh yeah,
Um, he would pull facts out. No matter the argument, he had facts on just about everything that someone was trying to argue with him about. He was very courteous to other people. He was spit at, assaulted, and all kinds of stuff. Obviously, the worst case has happened now. He was assassinated, right? But he never once preached violence or anything like that. Um, and I said this when it happened, and said it again last week. They took out the most moderate conservative there
oh yeah,
was, and now the
oh yeah,
rest. Now they're gonna get something completely different.
oh yeah.
It's not even going to be nothing the same, right? Nobody can be Charlie. Nobody's going to replace him, no matter who they are. Uh, Charlie is Charlie. He's who he is. He obviously touched a lot of people, and a lot of kids, right? And that's really what it comes down to
Yeah,
is being taken out because he was reaching He was reaching the minds of young adults,
that's right.
okay, and teenagers and stuff like that. And for again, like I said earlier, probably missed it because we got knocked off. Uh, the day he died, his followers on all his accounts went through the roof. Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, everybody wanted to see what this man was about. If they had never heard from him before, they heard from him that day under terrible circumstances, and they went to go hear his word. And then he's just a lot of people. It went from they have 2,000. I know they have like 2,000 chapters rather. They got something close to 70,000 applications,
yeah. Maybe more
okay,
now.
across the country. It's probably more now.
Yeah,
At the time, this was like last week, it was at
yeah,
60 some, almost 70,000,
yeah,
right? So it's probably over that now. uh that's just good to see. It's a start, and I fully I fully expect that his wife Erica is going to carry it on, and she's going
yeah,
to do things. She's not going to do things the Charlie way. She's going to do things the Erica way, but she's going to do things through the memory of Charlie, you know, and because she understood her husband, 100% what it is that he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. It's going to be a little bit different, but I guarantee you it's going to be with the spirit of Charlie Kirk, everything that she does going forward. And anybody else that's running their things, I fully expect that all the events that they do are going to continue to go on. um, it's never going to be the same without Charlie, now that he's gone. But I think they'll find a way to one, memorialize him correctly through each one of these events, and absolutely get it done. uh all you have to do is just listen to any of his words, man. Just listen to how he did things, and just continue to do it the same way. You don't have to do much different, you really don't, because he was reaching people. Now you just
it
need to
was
find
working. Yeah,
someone who can reach people too.
yeah, it was working. Yeah, yeah. I've seen like online like a lot of like a Charlie club starting like little mini TPUSA. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
These are youngsters, 13, 14, 15, starting their own little clubs. To
Yeah.
imitate. And they're dressing like him. And it's awesome to see. Because as a young boy, we need role models, right? And me as a young boy, I grew up in the streets, I grew up in the hood, and I idolized, and I knew it was wrong, but I mean I had no option. I didn't have like a Chicano superhero, so I idolized,
Right.
the guy in the street, because I wanted to idolize somebody, because of course this is Los Angeles County, very liberal even back then, so you idolize somebody that mimics you, or resembles you and stuff, So I idolize all the thugs, I mean, that's kind of, but these boys have an opportunity to idolize somebody that's decent, that's that's honest, that's factual, that's responsible, and he would tell them get married, have a family, and he would say it's the ultimate joy of your life, not to go get a degree or make a lot of money, but have a family, and he's so right, man. And a lot of us I learned that very later in life, man. That I've always worked, I've always had a family, but I was wanting to go make money, wanted to make money, but I realized that now that I'm slowing down now, I'm not working, like I used to all the time, now, I take less work now, because, it's just, it's not, I get tired now, right? I'm getting older now, but I appreciate my family and I appreciate what I have. And it's true, man. This kid was so ahead of his time that he understood the meaning of life, the importance of life, having a family, raising good kids, and a lot of these boys are being raised by adults that were like me, or even worse, that were not home, were always gone, So these boys need leadership, they need guidance, and he became that voice for them, and he was a blessing, man. He was, he was a once in a lifetime probably figure, man. He was.
Yeah, he definitely, there's nobody who's going to be able to equal him in his approach, in his word, and how he did things. So people that'll be close. They just have to, like I said, they just have to make sure they use his spirit and how he did things, and everything is done. All you have to do is go back and watch. Don't try to be him. Be yourself. Whoever picks it up and picks up the mantle. Uh, but understand how it is that he did it. Like, he had a way of doing things and reaching these young Americans that were resonating with him, right? Because he was closer to their age. So you can't go get some old person. I truly believe that no matter how good they talk, okay, you can't. You got to get somebody young to continue resonating with the younger Americans, and continue to have not only, again, he didn't just have a Christian voice, he had a very patriotic voice too,
Yeah.
right? Like, he, on the importance of conserving and making sure that the republic stands, right? Because we don't live in a democracy. Because
Yeah.
if we lived in a democracy, it would be complete anarchy
Oh, yeah.
in this country. If we lived in a democracy, Los Angeles and New York City would absolutely run everything in this country,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh,
So just, we should be fortunate that we actually have a republic.
exactly.
Uh, it's and he was big on that. He was very big on that, and getting it done, and trying to educate these kids with the right stuff. So again, fam, I'm trying to keep the freaking trying to pay attention to both chats. It's very distracting that trying to do my thing here, and I can't see the chat like I normally do, and it's not running up the screen, and it's just annoying me right now. So it's just one of those days. Uh hopefully the next show on Wednesday we're good to go. Uh just so you guys know, I will be on with McKenna Blackman tomorrow, probably on her channel, on the California Unfiltered. She was gonna come on tonight, but it was just was kind of try to do a simulcast thing, but it didn't work out that way. It just works out. We would have had all kinds of problems anyway, the way the tech things started out with us anyway. So I imagine that shit wouldn't have went through the right way. So I will be on with her tomorrow. I will probably on her channel. I'll let you guys know on Instagram and whatnot where I'll be, but it'll be her show, not this one. So unless she decides she wants to simulcast it, if we figure that out, then I will, what do you call it? Maybe I'll simulcast, and we'll, what do you call it? Post on both channels. We will see, but I will let you guys all know. Um, we're hanging out with Oscar, Luckyvato213. He gave us some good insight about Charlie's funeral yesterday. He was there. So he got to see a lot. He got to see all the speeches and whatnot, and got to see how Americans came together to honor one Charlie Kirk after a serious loss.
Yeah, what I did notice is not everybody that was there were like hardcore MAGAs. There was a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberals there. And I've seen stories online. But what I've
There was a
noticed,
lot of people. There was a lot of people who walked away from the Democrat Party after that happened, and they were posting that shit on social media
yeah,
and were
yeah,
like, "I
yeah,
will never vote Democrat ever again.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I, I just don't believe in this."
yeah,
So
yeah,
I would imagine that you had a
yeah,
decent amount of more moderate people and more,
right,
liberal
yeah.
people.
I grew up as a Democrat, just kind of, because if you're Latino, you're a Democrat. Literally they check you off as a Democrat when you're born. That's just kind of what it is. So I was a Democrat, but I never really, when I was growing up, I voted for, I think my first vote was for Clinton. I think I voted for Clinton. I think that was like my last like Democrat vote. But he was not a progressive. He wasn't like these people now. So growing up a Democrat, that wasn't like a big deal because you were kind of like they're almost the same, right? But I would say, oh, the lesser of two evils, right?
There was more moderation with the party at that time. This is in
Yeah,
the 1990s. What
right,
is the
right.
party doesn't exist anymore. It
Yeah,
is I label them as the American Communist Party because that's
oh
what
yeah,
they are.
party,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
and they are completely and totally
yeah.
have been taken over by the more progressive, more leftist, radical leftist side of things. So they are
Totally,
the American
totally. Yeah.
Communist Party.
The Rainbow
You
Mafia
know.
and all that. So that wasn't even going on back then. So okay, well, they would always say lesser of two evils. Okay, well, maybe that's true back then, right? But now there's no lesser of two evils. There's an evil
No,
side, and
there's
there's like
good
a
and evil.
normal side. You
It's
know what I
good and
mean?
evil.
Yeah,
Period.
good and evil, bro. That's what it is. So getting back to the event, so being there talking to people, a lot of them were not Republicans. They were but they were there because they wanted to honor Charlie, and I think what's going to happen is a lot of the ones that were there either now or later, that they will leave that party, continue to leave the party because they know that this wasn't right. They mocking Charlie even to this day, mocking him, making fun of him, and all that. I know that they felt convicted and bad because their own party's doing it. So I think that's going to even
Right.
backfire on them. It'll backfire, and we'll be able to gain more people to vote on our side. In California, that's what I'm hoping for. California needs.
Yeah, I think but it's not even just California; it's the whole country.
Mm,
It is this didn't have the effect they thought it was going to have. They thought it was going to silence us. It didn't. It just kind of radicalized us a little bit more.
yeah,
Uh, when it happened, I actually did a show, kind of lost my shit on it because I was pissed off, and I just said that what you guys got coming next, you guys killed the one moderate
yeah,
conservative who
yeah,
gave you a platform to
exactly,
talk to him.
exactly.
Okay, all he ever wanted to do was just converse and use debate. Okay, and
Well,
just be, in the
yeah,
realm of ideals. That's it. Just that's it. An arena of ideas, and you bring yours, I bring mine, and we'll see what happens at the end. And in a lot of cases, he made a lot of people look stupid, and ignorant because they didn't have the information they thought they had. And he educated a lot of people, and there were a lot of people. He changed a lot of minds, right?
yeah,
That's something that's not talked about. He actually changed a lot of minds,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
especially with the kids, because it's easy to manipulate these young Americans. It's sad, but it is because the Marxism has been an infiltration. Okay, they played the long game since the late 19th century here in the United States.
mhm,
Okay, and they did their thing in Europe. Then they went and absolutely took over most of Latin America. And they knew that the only way to do it in the United States, because of being a republic and our constitution and the way our laws work, was they have to do it the long game. And they did it. We're seeing it play out in real time. All their hard work for over 100 years. Okay, and it is a tough fight. And I try to tell people all the time, it's like we got to play that same long game. If you want to change the rules, we have to get to a place where we can change the rules. If we're not in a position to change the rules to make things right again, going scorched earth on shit is just not going to work. It just won't. It's just you're going to get pushback from everybody. The more moderates from both sides are going to be like, nope, we don't want scorched earth. So you got to play the long game, play within the rules that we have. Let's win with the rules that we have, and then we change the rules to be correct, and equal for everybody, and stuff like that, and protect our voting from foreigners voting in our elections that are illegals and stuff like that and everything. That comes next, but we got to get there first. If we don't get there first, it doesn't make a difference. We'll keep
right,
losing. But I see a change. All right, the unfortunate loss of Charlie Kirk has it's been one hell of a revival of Christianity in this nation, and not just in
oh
the
yeah,
nation, across the
yeah,
world. You
yeah,
know, they were honoring him everywhere,
everywhere,
and
yeah, yeah.
everywhere they were
But
honoring him.
but not just that, but it's just the reports that came up. The first Sunday, last Sunday, not yesterday, but last Sunday when he first passed away, when he first got killed and stuff. Churches being full. People going to the
Yeah,
church for the first time in
yeah,
their life, or coming back from being gone
yeah.
for years. So we haven't seen that type of like interest and hunger for like God since 9/11, bro. In 9/11, I remember when that happened and stuff. The following weekend, churches were full, and eventually it
Yeah.
died down. But why? Because that 9/11, yeah, I went to New York during the cleanup, so I remember how somber everything was and stuff. So I remember the feeling of being there, just kind of the pain, But that was more like we were shocked as a nation that we could get it, that we were so vulnerable, right? But with Charlie, it was more like a revival of spirit. Like Charlie was preaching truth, So the
Yeah.
church came back for truth. Like they were hungry for truth. So I think it's different. I think it's going to be a longer lasting than just the emotional trauma that 9/11 gave us. So I think what Charlie's thing and people going to church, I think they're hungry because they want to know what moved this guy, what made him such a threat by himself. Right, there was one person, right, that threatened an entire people group, an entire half of a country that's lunatic, right? Like Trump calls them the lunatic left, right? What did he say that was so dangerous, right? And they look and they say they can't find nothing, right? But it was just the way he spoke, right? He was able to debate people. Like you said, if you were against him, he gave you a platform, he gave you a chair, right? Who would do that, bro? You know what I mean? And one of the stories that we heard yesterday with Tucker Carlson talked about how I was like Jesus would always go in the temple and debate Pharisees and so they were a threat, so they took him out. So they took him out, right? So, he might have his own little idea about that, but same thing. It just that they cannot handle truth. So whenever you speak truth to power, you speak truth to people that don't like you, they get upset, man. They burn with rage, And so people I think are wondering what did he say that was so controversial that they had to kill him, And they're looking and there's nothing, So I think that's gonna have a longer effect. Of course, the boys that were already touched for years that he put in work into he worked into these boys, all these youth. I think they're gonna continue. I seen a lot of kids there. They had like little Charlie Kirk shirts. A lot of kids that were dressed like him. A lot of kids had hats and stuff. These are kids that are gonna they don't even vote yet, but they're gonna be voting for the next 20 years, bro. So I think we have a country that's gonna be waking up again, bro. I
Well,
think we're in a good place right now.
well, I think so too. It's unfortunate that it took the death of somebody in
Mm,
assassination, but yeah, I think so too. We also, one of the first videos I ever made last year was in regards to Gen Z bringing Jesus back. Okay, there were more. This was like beginning of last year. I read a fantastic article, okay, about the younger generation, looking to God, looking to church,
mm,
looking to more traditional values and stuff like that. So I think this is just gonna. It's already resonated with a lot of people that were following, a lot of the youngsters following Charlie Kirk, but um, even more those youngsters, like you said, who maybe have never been to church or never heard Charlie Kirk speak. They all went. Okay, again, his
yeah,
followings went through the roof. Like it went from
yeah,
he had like 2 million one
yeah,
day, and then after his death, there was like that week it went up to like 7 mil or something, like something
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
like that. I don't know the exact number.
yeah,
But it's just wild. And like you said, what was in his words that were so bad that they had to take him out? And there really wasn't. They can't find it. I saw countless amount of videos from people trying to, people on the left who were, like I said, walking away. It's like I couldn't find one thing. They kept saying he said this, and then I went to go look for it, and that wasn't it at all, is what he was saying and stuff like that. And this whole time, I
yeah.
thought he was some sort of ist or phobe or whatever the hell they label us with.
Racist. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and realized that this man wasn't that at all.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Yeah, Nina says she says Charlie shamed the devil. The demons don't like that. That's a good way of putting it.
yeah,
That's a great way of putting it, Nina.
yeah,
Ordinarily, you would be able to see it,
yeah,
but I have to go fucking check these things and stuff
yeah.
like that
It's good.
because they're talking in the chat. So our chat is actually very active all the time. Um, so it's good. Just to give everybody a heads up, fam. Wednesday, it'll be me and Blondie. Blondie will be back with me for another episode of Break the Machine podcast. Hopefully, everything will be fucking working. Um, we'll have the same issues we had tonight. On Friday, Truthful Reese, who's in the chat on the Rumble side, she will be with us, hanging with us, me and Scott on Friday night. Saturday is another episode of the Salty Dog. First off, I didn't get a chance to. I want to thank all of you that came out, okay, for movie night on Saturday. It was freaking awesome. We had such a great time. We watched. I enjoyed Superman 2025. I think they could have did more to it with it. I think they got some shit wrong, done intentionally. But overall, it was just a good movie night. We had quite a few people in the Discord hanging with us. All right. Jonathan, if you get a chance, even though I can't see it, throw the Discord in the chats, please. Uh, and just sign up, fam. It's completely free. I'll let you guys know when we're doing another Discord family. Sorry, family. It is family night when you think about it. Movie night. Uh, and it's like, there are sections in there that you can add your news articles, political philosophy. You can put pictures of your freaking furries in there, not to be confused with people who want to be furries. All right. And you can do everything. If you need a prayer, there's a prayer section on our Discord too. We threw some prayers out last Wednesday, for one of our viewers who needed it. So that's what we'll do. We'll give you guys prayers on air and stuff like that. It was a good night with Chad Watts last Wednesday. And then what do we got? Salty Dog, me and the Tomley Boos on Saturday. Next Monday is the 29th. We got Peyton Jackson, Texas 33, coming back to hang with us. All right. She's running, you know, in Dallas Fort Worth, and she's coming back to hang with us. She wanted to chill with Red Day and I again. So that's good. And then next Friday is the 3rd. We have Samantha Lorenz coming on the show. If you guys all know who Lexi Lorenz was, she was the poor girl that got hit with 3 vaccines that reacted terribly with her, and they almost killed her. And she's actually not doing very well right now. So we're gonna have her sister on to talk about her sister's condition and everything that happened. We'll get to hear that story through her sister's voice, because she can't come on because of how she is, the reactions that she had with the vaccines. I think they gave her meningitis. Oh, God, I can't remember. I think influenza, meningitis. I can't remember what the third one was. And they gave them all to her, and this poor girl had. You remember her? Do you remember that girl out in California? She went to go have a simple procedure, and she couldn't have the procedure done, and they hit her up with 3 vaccines that almost killed her.
I think I do. It's been a couple of years ago, right? A while back, right? A while
Yeah,
back.
it was. I think it was last year. I want to say last year.
Yeah. I think I vaguely remember. Yeah.
But anyway, her sister will be here with us next Friday to tell her sister's story. Uh, and she needs all the help she can get. Poor girl. Yes, Nina, family movie night. That's what we'll call it from now on. Not just movie night, family movie night. But it was a great night on Saturday. We had a good time. I want to thank Jonathan Stevie for hooking us up. It was a clear picture. It was fantastic sound. Everything was good to go. So when we get the new movie night coming up, he will let me know for this month coming up, and I will let you all know. But next month we're almost filled up, guys. We got a big lineup next month too. People just coming to hang with us on the show. We appreciate it. What you got going, Oscar? We're gonna phase out of here shortly.
Yeah, well, California is obviously so we're in our focus is kind of like the school board district. So we're trying to help school boards push back against the boys and girls locker rooms, helping school boards push back against dirty books in schools. So we're supporting districts that are locally in our area. So we kind of go and we have a little team that kind of travels and stuff. So we try to do that. Try to support each other, but that's it. Just supporting parents, and kind of just bringing awareness to people, and a lot of it started in kind of Chino where I'm at, so we've been able to kind of help people kind of get involved in stuff, and run for school board, encourage them, and I think grassroots is kind of the best way to get into politics and stuff. If you want to make a change, start in the bottom, get in school boards, city council and stuff, so we encourage that. We're doing good. Got a bunch of moms, a bunch of dads are getting involved, and 5.5 years ago, it wasn't even a thing. Nobody went to school boards. It was like you had to be crazy. I went to a few school boards because I had a mother-in-law that's really active in school boards. So I used to go with her because I would just go with her because I had to protect her. She would always kind of get yelled at and stuff. So I would go because she would be a big advocate. So I used to go with her as a bodyguard. Not wanting to get involved, just kind of going so nobody would talk down on her, but not knowing that I was gonna one day, 20 years later, bro, start doing my own school boards, and she was a Democrat, so I would go as a Democrat supporter, because she was, and they were pushing stuff back then that made sense, like IEPs, like, better schools, like, help with special needs or whatever, so I would kind of go with her with that. and of course, that they all went kind of left, So not realizing that one day I was gonna that God would use the stuff that I learned when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and stuff, when I was younger and stuff, to now do my own thing. So now I go and I same thing, parental rights, but now it's almost like a right issue now. The left is against parental rights, the left is against better schools, the left is against removing smut. Now it's the conservative that are doing that. So
Well,
it was that turn.
but just to let you know, they have always been against that. Okay, they just did things. They moved a certain way to make it look like they weren't. They always
Mhm.
said that they were for this, for that, but they were never really for people's rights and stuff like that. They just, if we're for, yeah, we want parental rights, but if you
Yeah,
do this and you vote on this is how we make sure you keep your rights.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
bullshit.
We'll do it
They're
for you.
absolutely
Yeah,
full of shit.
vote me in, and
Um,
I'll do it for you. Yeah, give me the
yeah,
power.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. Rogue
yeah.
Nina wanted me to say to you because we can't see the chat. She said, Oscar, I don't know if you can see this, but appreciate having you in the fight with us in Cali. Rogue Nina is one of our ride or dies. Jilly Beans, thanks for joining us. I apologize. I absolutely cannot see everybody's stuff on the screen like we normally do. We had some issues with Rumble and YouTube trying to get on both of them today. They were both like, I don't know what the issue was. Rumble was just being Rumble, and I got a whole bunch of videos on I got a whole bunch of new videos on Rumble that I got to delete that have there's like nothing. It's just a new video. And I got to delete a whole bunch of this shit. Uh so I apologize again, Jilly Bean. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. It's great to have you. It's we're growing here and whatnot. Lucky Panda started following us. What's going on? Cowgirl, I saw you in there. Think I saw you briefly in there, so good to see you too. Yeah, we got some ride or dies that are with us and whatnot. So,
Yeah,
absolutely appreciate it.
so maybe on that, maybe I kind of remember we do have an event set up for next month on the 4th,
Oh, okay.
Saturday, October 4th. So we're having like a pro life event at a at a life center, which is a center that is right by Planned Parenthood in San Bernardino County, which is east of LA County. So we're having a pro life walk. So this life center is right behind Planned Parenthood. So what they do is they always they have little prayer teams that go around Planned Parenthood and try to bring the girls and bring them into the life center. The life center
Right.
gives them programs, helps them like save the baby, give ultrasound and all that. So I'm going to be one of the speakers along with people running for office like Sonia Shaw and others are going to be this. We're going to have like a
Oh, excellent.
little candidate forum, and I'm gonna kind of share something how I got involved with the pro life movement. I'm gonna share that, so it's gonna be a great time. So that'll be in San Bernardino, October 4th. I could probably send you a flyer or something you can maybe post it.
Yeah, man. Yo, whatever you post, man, I'll repost it,
Yeah,
and throw it up for you, man. Absolutely,
yeah,
man. I'll make sure that we get that out, for
yeah,
you guys. We definitely want to make sure we support that. Um, and you said October 4th on Saturday,
yeah.
we'll make sure. Just keep
Saturday
me.
morning. Yeah,
Just keep reminding me so that I can let our California people know on October
yeah.
3rd, uh, when we on the October 3rd show that, hey,
Right.
just
Yeah,
remember,
yeah.
there's if you're in this area, tomorrow at this time, please go, support these
Yeah, man.
people. So yeah,
Right.
send me the flyer, man, and
Yeah,
I'll make sure we put it
great.
up and everything and let
Yeah.
everybody know
Yeah,
to
so
show
that's
up and
one thing
whatnot.
that's kind of already on the calendar. So there's always stuff going on. That's one
Right.
thing that we're kind of trying to push. And
So
then a friend of mine, yeah, he's kind of starting a new like little pro life nonprofit group. So we're trying to help him kind of get going and stuff, and kind of get him some exposure too. So it's not just kind of for the movement or myself, but it's kind of movement. It's a collaborative team, So we believe in collaborating with other conservative groups in California to try to
right.
give exposure, help them grow, help each other. So we're doing this for this friend of mine, but then we're going to have some speakers there, but we want to kind of support his ministry, and also we're doing it at the Life Center that's been there for years, so we'll support that Life Center too. So we believe in just working together. Because one of the things that I have learned through the years of kind of being in the conservative movement is conservatives don't like to work together. They're very tribal too. They're very competitive.
Yeah. It's
So
all very
so
tribal.
yeah. So on the last GOP meeting they had, here in SoCal, they were talking about they wanted to get rid of that and like I said, they understand how this Prop 50 is so dangerous for them. If they can't beat Prop 50, they're done. So now they're talking about we got to expand, we got to find some more
Un-
help.
and
And
unity and all that other shit.
we've had candidates, bro, that ran for conservative seats, and we've offered to help them, and they tell us no, we don't need your help. I said, what do you mean you need your help? So sometimes they lose, sometimes they win, right? So conservative movement, they're very tribal. They have their own, because you have conservatives that are like totally 100% pro life. Some of them are like, oh, what, like 10 weeks or 12 weeks, and they have some that are like for this or for that. You know what I mean? So there's always like a different kind of different levels, right? So that's
Right.
what kind of separates everybody. I said, look, man, we got to turn California red. We all have the same goal. I said, stop worrying about whether you're a Catholic, a Christian, or you don't believe in God or whatever. And you have some conservatives that are gay, right? But they have
Yeah.
conservative values somehow. So I won't talk to that guy because I'm a Christian, right? Come on, man. So these are the things that we're trying to like
Yeah.
get rid of, because literally we're not going to win if we're always like nitpicking and stuff. We're all sinners. We all need help. Nobody's perfect, right? Just work together, and got to do the rest. So this is what they're saying now. They're saying that they want to be able to work together with other groups, right? Together. So that was never before being done. So I see the movement of California, that they have to like work together. If you're going to win California, you better
Yeah.
become one. You better become one.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, that's just, I tell people all the time that the left is a conglomerate of special
mm,
interest groups that actually they all hate each other, but what they can freaking
exactly.
do is come together and they congeal like the slobs that they are,
Exactly.
all right, and the mud and freaking sewage that they
Yeah.
are. They come together and they get the job done. They're good at it. Again, they've been doing it in this
Yeah.
country, like I said, for over 100 years,
Hey, bro,
behind the
these
scenes.
people, these liberals, they have like zero standards, zero moral. I put a video
They do.
today, right? And you had protesters at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, right?
Yeah, I
You
know. I
had
saw that.
you had gays, right? You had Antifa, you had Palestine, and then you had anti-Israel, and then you had anti-ICE. They're all different. They're all like separated, right? But they're all like in the same
Yeah.
bubble. I said they have nothing in common except they're all Democrats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're all Democrats. So literally all the people, and then you can have some pedos in there, probably whatever, on the cover.
Yeah.
They don't care. They'll work together. They have
Oh
no
yeah,
problem
absolutely.
working
And they'll
together.
push that they'll push that pedo shit right off of
No,
freaking
they
they'll
don't care.
die on that hill
No, they don't
with
care.
pedophilia. It's the whole reason why they want to keep, grooming kids with these pornographic books in schools and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Is because they want to desensitize children because in the end they want to do nefarious things to kids,
yeah,
right? And if you can
yeah,
desensitize children to all of this, then you can manipulate them even easier. It's already easy to manipulate kids if you're good at it, right? And they are. They're
oh
all
yeah,
very great
oh
at it.
yeah, oh
Okay,
yeah,
our kids have been getting manipulated into thinking dumb shit
yeah,
for a long time now, but that's changing, and they can't fathom. They can't deal with the fact that it's changing and stuff
yeah.
like that. And again, Charlie Kirk had a big position with that.
This is
Um,
why. This is why the left gets so mad when I call them groomers, bro. I love that. That's one of my favorite words, groomers or chumos,
yeah,
right? You see how they get so mad, right? Because literally, and I've heard story, right? People that got turned out, same sex or whatever, and they always have stories of an adult like dating an adult, befriending them.
yeah,
So a lot of these kids, they have these confusions because they're little, right? But then you have an adult that comes in and they think, oh, they're gonna help me like make sense of it, and this adult grooms them, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's done intentionally, man. And again, if you just if you just kids will figure shit out if you just
yeah,
let them,
yeah,
right? They
yeah,
will
yeah,
figure
yeah,
it out. If you let their
yeah,
brains develop the right way, the way they're
yeah,
supposed to, okay, they
yeah,
will figure it out. It's not the kids, all right? It's adults,
yeah.
all right? That kids aren't racist. Kids aren't
No,
freaking. They're not thinking about their bodies are different and stuff like that. It's adults that do that to them. Okay, along the way, it has nothing to do with children. If you put two children, okay, from the three, put four kids together, all four of them with four different ethnicities, they will all play with each other. All right. It is the
oh yeah,
parents, it is the people around them in their environment, okay, that will absolutely wreck them. Right. I told people, when Charlie Kirk died, I said, one of the things as a parent that you have to understand that you can do absolutely everything as best as possible because there's no real manual on how to raise your children, okay, and you can do everything as good. You can try to instill the right morals, but then they still turn around and they murder somebody,
yeah,
okay. That's not you, okay. It's their environment that they get exposed to. When you drop your children off, okay, to a school, to freaking sports, whatever it is, they're in a whole different new environment where you have no control of, right? So like it's tough being a parent because you got to stay on top of that shit. Like you got to focus everywhere. Your eyes have to be absolutely everywhere as a parent. But
yeah.
we are definitely winding down on time here, fam. Oscar, go ahead and say some plugs, man. I appreciate your patience tonight, man. I appreciate you hanging with us and stuff like that. We will absolutely definitely have you back. Red Day had to actually take off and whatnot, stuff like that. He had a client that called him late and he had to take care of it. So, uh,
No
but
worries.
we had a good discussion, you and and I definitely would like to bring you back, brother. And hopefully everything will be going right this time around. I think it still worked out. We still managed to have some good dialogue tonight. So
Yeah.
again, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, thank you, brother. My first time on the show. I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the chance, man. California, man. We're fighting, man. We're dropping dogs, man. We're gonna fight. Till the wheels come off. I ain't moving. People are saying we're leaving California. I ain't leaving California, man. I ain't got nowhere to go, man. I was in Arizona for a day, man. It's too hot over there, man. I ain't doing that. I'm staying in California. I like the cool weather. I like the 80s. You know what I mean? I like the 2 seasons. Hot and cool. That's
Yeah.
for me. So I'm gonna duke it out. We're gonna stay there. So if you're in California, you want to help join the fight. Join the fight. Follow the California movement page. I mean, I'm Luckyvato. I'm one of the founders of that movement and stuff. Come. We have plenty of opportunities. School council, city council, school board. We got people running for assembly. You want to get involved in politics, we'll help you get started and stuff. We got Bible studies during the week too that we do. We're all in church. We have community events, Easter events. We have backpack giveaways. We have toy tots we do every year. So get involved. Hit us up. Caleb.movement on Instagram. We only started like 5 months ago, so we're a brand new movement, but we're looking to collaborate. Anybody that wants to fight for parental rights or conservative values in California, hit us up, man. We're
Right. The
down.
links should be in the description for him and for California Movement, for Instagram and whatnot. Then you can go anywhere from there. With all the tech issues we had, that should still be there. I'm praying that they're there. If not, I will make sure I go back and I fix all of that. I got the chat. The chat is asking me where we should raid. All right, so I don't know if you're familiar. On Rumble, we can raid other people's chats, and essentially we send our whole chat over to somebody else's show, and they get to jump in and say what's up and whatnot and everything like that, and you give your viewers to somebody else. We've been doing that lately because we got raided for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and then actually last Monday night, was it Monday or Wednesday? It was I think it was Wednesday. This last Wednesday we got raided twice, and and then Friday we didn't even need a rate on Friday. We had close to 100 viewers, but on Wednesday our viewer went up really quick. We had two different shows rate us, so we've been like returning the favor for people and stuff. I'm trying to figure something out, find somebody to raid. um I know who I'll raid. All right, guys, we're gonna. Crazy dude's got his stuff going on. He's out on his deck right now. I just pulled up his stream. He's out on his deck. Okay, fucking crazy dude. Who knows what he's doing? You never know with KD with that crazy motherfucker. So we are going to raid. We're going to raid. What do you call it? KD tonight. Again, Oscar. I appreciate your time tonight, man. Appreciate you hanging with us and sticking it out, man. And you could have easily gotten like perturbed and fucking ran off, but I appreciate you,
Oh, cool.
chilling with us and sticking it out. It absolutely freaking. We'll make it up to you, man. We'll definitely have you on again. Interested to hear maybe after the elections that happen on in November to bring you
Mm.
back and get your take on some of that stuff. Hopefully Chad Bianco and Sonia Shaw. You guys need them out. You guys need them both desperately out in
Yeah,
California.
sure.
My only worry is that even if Chad Bianco gets elected, what does he have in the state assembly and state senate to help? You know, that's my worry. Like he needs workhorses in both places to help him out because I think Chad Bianco can do some really great things for the state of California, bring some normalcy back there uh, if they let him.
Right. So I have asked him that before, and he said at the executive level, he could literally sign off certain things that are going on, like a lot of these governor, executive orders that he has. He could remove them,
Right.
start releasing, some, less restrictions, less
Huh.
regulations,
Okay.
water. He could do that immediately. So we'll be able to see some immediate results without the assembly or the Senate.
Nice.
I mean, yeah. So we're
Yeah,
happy.
that's excellent, man. That's good to know because, like, I want to make sure that the man has the workhorses that he needs
Yeah.
to get shit done because he needs it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I agree with you. I think he's the right man for the job, and he'll make it happen out there for you guys. Definitely think so. But once again, brother, appreciate it. I'm going to take us out, so I'm going to go to a single view
Brother.
here
Right.
shortly. Um,
That's right.
Once again, man, I absolutely appreciate you hanging with us tonight, and we will bring you back, man.
All right. Anytime, brother. Let me know. God bless you, man.
God bless you too, man.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, brother. All right, fam. That was Luckyvato213 Oscar. We got to hang with him. He stuck it out with us. It was a crazy beginning of the night for us tonight. He got to give us some insight on what was going on in at the Charlie Kirk funeral because he was there yesterday. He had some posts up and whatnot. I reposted them on my page and whatnot because being that I know him and stuff like that, it was cool to see that he was there. Um, you know, it was a good turnout for Charlie. It was really good. He deserves it. The man deserves it. So, again, it was really great to see. Apologize to all of you. I appreciate you all. I love you all. You guys are the best, okay? Because you guys stuck it out with me, right? We could have easily just ended shit and just called it a night, but I fought and I scraped to get us going again on both channels. I got a whole bunch of shit I got to go fix on my Rumble channel because I think I got 5 different versions of this show. 4 of them didn't even play. So I got to figure out how to delete all of that shit and leave this one up. And Lucky Vato, if you're still there watching, man, please take whatever clips you can clip whatever you want of you speaking on the show and whatnot, um, and post it up. By all means, you're free to do that. I tell everybody who comes on the show they can clip whatever they need for their respective platforms or what. So we are going to raid the crazy dude. All right. Hopefully this shit will work, and I'm gonna send you guys over there in a minute. I got it all set up. So let's give it a shot here. Once again, love all you guys. I'm the Big Red One Guy signing out. And remember, together and only together can we break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. And I will see you all on Wednesday night, fam. Have a good night. You guys will be going over there shortly. 2, 1, join. All right, fam.